What's the first thing that you think of when you wake up? My first thought was excitement because I was waking up in Paris and I had so much exciting stuff planned for today. Stay with me and I'll tell you the story of my first day in the City of Lights. Before we start, let me just first apologize for mentioning my previous trip so many times because I am going to. My first trip to Paris was in 2018, 6 years ago, and that was in the summer. This was in the winter, so there are so many things to compare and contrast that I just can't help myself. So, sorry, but it's gonna happen. Oh, by the way, I am Sunny. This is Sunny Escapades. This is my travel vlog where I talk about my trips and my impressions, my experiences, a whole lot of other stuff like that, and some tips and tricks to help people avoid the mistakes that I make. So, welcome if you are new here, and if you're already subscribed, great. If you're not, please consider subscribing. Let's get into the first day. First day, because remember, I got into the Paris hotel about midnight last night, so I just gone to bed right away. So this morning when I woke up, my first thought was food. Okay, so as is my habit, took a shower first, very small bathroom in there, but it sufficed, it worked, so that was okay. And then went down to the breakfast. The hotel breakfast here was okay, it was not great, and I have to contrast this with Slovenia, which was my previous trip just 2 months before Paris, and there the hotel breakfast was like top, like completely, I don't know, top of the world probably, because yeah, that was really good. And this was okay continental breakfast, but there were some choices, some eggs, bread and all stuff. So I did find stuff to eat, which was good because I was really starving after not having proper dinner last night. And then it was a foggy day, so I just came back to my room and caught up with the note taking and the footage copy kind of activities which I had not been able to do previous night. And then finally, I left about 11 o'clock. I told you before, when I am in Paris, it gives me a very chilled, relaxed feeling. I don't know why. It's a very crowded city. It's a very touristy city. And people say French people are not very friendly also. I have not seen much. I've seen some evidence of that, but not a lot. Thankfully, not this time. But still, it just makes me feel so relaxed because everywhere you go, it's just so enjoyable. Just so enjoyable everywhere. You can just walk anywhere and enjoy Paris. Don't have to do anything special. But I still had some special plans for today. First thing was, got out and looked around because this area where I was staying this time, Montmartre, is the only hill in Paris, and it was a nice area, but last time I had not stayed there, so this time I was curious in how does it feel to live, like stay for a few days in a touristy area. And it's nice. It's very nice, especially because the hotels are there, but it's not very crowded still, and there's still lots of places, like there's a boulangerie right like 2 doors down from my hotel. There was a creperie right across the road, which I used later in the trip, and there were a few restaurants. There were like 2 Indian restaurants within walking distance, and there were some pubs and stuff. So it was like a really nice area, like you could hang out there even if you were not staying there. So, by the way, do you have any opinion about this? I know I talk a lot myself. I would be very curious to know if you've been to Paris and what are your favorite areas. Have you been to Montmartre? Do you like it, hate it because it's very hilly? But just let me know. So this time I wanted to, go from here and see the things nearby first and then go outside to the Eiffel Tower. So my first stop was Sacré-Cœur. Sacré-Cœur is nearby, like 10 minutes walk. The one thing that I had forgotten was because this was a hill, every direction you went, you either had to have a steep slope to go down or stairs. So many stairs. I got pretty sick of stairs after a couple of days there, I'm not gonna lie. But anyway, this day was okay because I was just starting, and every time you look on Google Map, I'm like, this way, that way, it tells you the road names, and then it's like, no, you have to go up the stairs. So did climb the stairs, and when you get to Sacré-Cœur itself has lots of stairs near it as well. But what you gonna do? You gotta go there. So went up there, and I have some interesting things to tell you about Sacré-Cœur. It was really crowded, by the way, this time, and I was not planning to go in. I don't plan to go into these places very much because I don't like to queue up so long. But this was like, oh, huge crowds. You could not even walk anywhere properly. But there are some nicer spots, like nicer corners outside, which are really good for photography, and they are still not that crowded. Okay, so Sacré-Cœur wasn't built in medieval times. It looks like it's medieval. It looks like it's coming from a fairy tale, but it's not. It was actually completed in 1914 as a national symbol of peace and hope after France's struggles in the previous century, 19th century. And its bright white facade that you see is not just for show. It's actually very functional. So it's made from Chateau Landon stone, and when it gets wet, when it rains, it actually gets whiter. So at this time it was just foggy, not raining, so I didn't get to see that. And the basilica inside, if you happen to go inside, is home to one of the largest mosaics in the world called the Christ in Majesty, which covers a massive 475 square meters inside. That would be amazing. So that makes me curious, and maybe I might go next trip. I might plan to go inside as well. Talking about the views from Sacré-Cœur, if you're looking for a really nice panoramic view of Paris and you can't go to Eiffel Tower, you can go to the Sacré-Cœur and you can just get a beautiful view of the whole city. Even with the fog, it was really nice. And this is one of the corners where you can just come down the steps in front of Sacré-Cœur, the main church, and keep coming down until you come to a railing. And then from there, you can take beautiful pictures, and there's not that much crowd as well there. Okay, and this place is very busy, but it's also very interesting. So it's always alive with music, and there are lots of street performers, pantomimers, and all kinds of people. And there was actually something interesting. There were some people selling souvenirs, like little Eiffel Towers and stuff like that. And I don't know what happened, but they just gathered there. They were selling them on tablecloth, kind of like a cloth or bedsheet. So they just gathered them, put them up in a little bundle and just ran. So I don't know if that's the police or some government department of Paris who is there to ask, like, do you have a license, and they kick them out. So that was funny. I tried to capture some of that. I think I managed to capture one or two of them. But yeah, so this place is always interesting, always lively. And if you go in the daytime, it's always better. If it's like summer, if you go in summer, go early, because those stairs, man, they're killers. So Montmartre, the area itself is very interesting. It's called the Artists' Quarter. This is like this. There's a corner, a special corner as well, which I'll talk about in a couple of days time. So subscribe if you haven't subscribed, so that you don't miss any of the videos. But that is where a lot of artists hang out. But if you talk about history, Picasso, Van Gogh, that kind of artists, they were inspired from this area. Okay, so it's a nice place to go to. And also one interesting thing here, when you're taking the panoramic views, you can see the Eiffel Tower from here as well. In the distance, it's small, but you can see that. So I recorded how to go and see that. It was very crowded and very noisy. So I'm not gonna show you the voice from there, but I can show you the video. You just, when you're facing the Sacré-Cœur, the main building, you go left and just keep going left and keep turning left, and you will come to a wall across the road. They're like tiny small streets. Just cross the street and then you can see Eiffel Tower in the distance. It's interesting. I just try to find Eiffel Tower from everywhere I go in Paris, but that's just me. So here's that video of seeing the Eiffel Tower. Near the Sacré-Cœur, there's also one of the interesting things is, do you know Pont des Arts, the Bridge of Arts in Paris? It's just near the Louvre Museum. And that used to have a tradition where people would come and put a lock in the metal railing. I don't know why people just used to do that. So they would write the name of their own name plus their name of their beloved, their boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, that sort of thing. And they would put the lock on the railing. And it got to such a crazy extent, so many people were doing it, that the sheer weight of the locks, the metal locks, started to damage the bridge. It started to sag the bridge. So what happened? The government came, took away the railing, took away all the locks. Bye bye. And now they have a different kind of railing, so you can't put locks on there. But near Sacré-Cœur, there are a couple of small railings where there are these kind of like metal grill kind of railings. So people do come and put locks there with their names, with their name and their beloved's name. I don't know why people do that. I never understand that. Like, are you saying that this reminds you of a prison? The love reminds you of a prison, or what? If you do understand it, please comment below. I consider it nonsense. But if you think this is romantic, please comment below with romantic or nonsense. If you agree with me and you think it's like a complete fabrication, I don't know if it's not a tradition. Who started that? I don't even know. So yeah, you can say nonsense or romantic nonsense. One of the three. Please comment below so I know I can have this survey as in what do people think about it. Is it just me? I'm so cynical that I don't agree with that. But anyway, so Sacré-Cœur is quite a nice place to take pictures from all sides, and it's good if you come down the steps a little bit to take a proper picture, and you can go around it and then take more pictures from all sides. It just looks beautiful from every side. Also, you will find near there is roads with a lot of shops. So there are a lot of shops with there's some pubs there as well. There are some souvenir shops. You can buy some paintings there as well. All kinds of stuff. So this area, I just don't go to Sacré-Cœur and come back. This is a place where you can just walk around. And there's another place which I'll talk about in a couple of days, I think, because I don't have the video yet. The wall of I love you. Yeah, there is such a thing. So subscribe so that you don't miss what is the wall of I love you in Paris. And that was also very close by, walkable from Sacré-Cœur. So yeah, I think I'll finish here and make a shorter episode just for a change. And then because next one is coming up, and next within the same day is going to be Eiffel Tower, and that's a long one because I did a lot around there. There was a lot to talk about, there's a lot to show there as well. So yes, please stay with me, subscribe, and then come back for the next video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.